Meeting started.
It's showing. Hey, showing.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, let's take a minute for some meditation. Okay, thank you. Okay, Roy, we're going to turn this over to you. Okay.
Did you want to share your favorite?
Yep. I want to take the opportunity to introduce our newest. I'm sorry.
No.
I just want to take the opportunity to introduce our newest full-time officers for our department, Justin Pacific. Justin completed the academy from Kent State University, and also he's actually a member of our Brimfield community, lives here in Brimfield with his family. Really excited to bring him on board. As I say every time I get a chance to do any of these, this is one of the best parts of my job, bringing somebody into the profession. I'm second today, now more than ever, we need good men and women coming into the profession. So with that, we're going to go ahead and have Trustee Koya administer the oath of office. I'm going to step out.
And have you repeat after me? I state your name.
I, Justin Gusay,
Having been duly appointed as a police officer
having been duly appointed as a police officer
of Brimfield Township, Ohio Police Department,
of Brimfield Township, Ohio Police Department,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I shall
that I shall
support the Constitution and laws of the United States,
support the Constitution and the laws of the United States,
the Constitution and laws of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution and the laws of the State of Ohio,
and the rules and regulations of Brimfield Township, Ohio Police Department,
and the rules and regulations of Brimfield Township, Ohio Police Department,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
and impartially
impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all duties incumbent upon me
all duties incumbent upon me
as a police officer of the Brimfield Township,
as a police officer of the Brimfield Township,
Ohio Police Department.
Ohio Police Department.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank
sir.
you.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to step outside with Justin and his family to get some photos, and you guys can go ahead.
Oh, I gotta shake his hand?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry. My apologies. Sorry. This is Mike Constantine, our trustees.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Roy, what's his start date? Okay. All right, I got you.
Hey, Justin, good luck.
Sunday after next, so 28, August 4th.
Yeah, we're friends and don't even know it.
Hey, everybody's gone. Who's the crowd?
You're not locking the door behind him, are you? Okay, so now's the time for announcements and correspondence. Say when you sign it. No? Okay, we got a meeting guest. John F. Kennedy.
Yeah, Patrick. Should I speak into the microphone?
Oh, whatever you feel like.
All right.
We're in an intimate setting.
Yeah. So the truth of the matter is, I have a brother, Robert, truly, and a sister Jacqueline.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a
So
lot.
my grandfather, it's just a quick story, he used to pick up Mrs. Kennedy because John and Joe always left her sitting on the chairs or concrete church. And they used to stay in the breakers on West Palm Beach, and they would constantly forget their dear old mother.
That's a good story.
It is just funny.
Well, look, I'm John Kennedy, Portage County Treasurer, and I want to first by apologizing for any mail you may have gotten today asking for money for the county. And that's how people tend to know who the treasurer is by what's on the bill that comes in the mail. We just had our July 15th deadline just a week or so ago. I can't believe how quickly things are going. But one of the things that I want to draw everybody's attention to is some low-hanging fruit in terms of what our office can do. We have a great program, a great low-interest loan program. And I'm hoping that the Fed is going to do what they said they were going to do at the beginning of the year, which is to start lowering interest rates. I think there's now enough data there for them to make a decision confidently to lower it a bit. But this loan would take an additional 1 to 3% off of your loan for home improvements, or if you own a family farm, or if you want to start a small business. If you're a small business in Portage County, we've got a number of people who have taken out these loans to do just that. You can use it for operating costs, up to $250,000. I think that's a big deal. I think that's transformative. And I know you guys at the township level, and I've been talking to a lot of township folks, they want money generated in Portage County. We all do, to get recirculated, because that's what's good for Portage County folks. And the only stipulation we have, if you're a small business, is that you're based here in Portage County. I don't think that's a major ask. We want you to do the majority of your work here in Portage County, and we'd also like that the majority of the folks who work for you also live here. Because guess what? That money then gets recirculated and it gets back into the school systems. We all know that property taxes, the big majority, goes to school districts and whatnot, but it also helps offset the cost of the cost of doing the administration's business at the county level. And so it provides a lot of other resources as well, police, fire, all of that stuff. And so it's a critical thing. So there's a lot of interest out there in taking out these loans. Again, $25,000 is what you can take out as an individual homeowner, $50,000 if you're a family farm, and $250,000, $250,000 if you're a small business. It's not going to work for everybody. And I'm just going to talk real quickly about what's happening. You may have heard about what's happening in Brimfield Township with the chin allotment situation there. You've got about 200 homeowners who, most of them are retirees, most of them are on fixed income, 65 and older, and now they've been told in the matter of the next 2, 3, 4 years, they've got to come up with the cost of connecting their septic, or not septic, but they're moving away from the septic because the septic was identified by the Ohio EPA as contaminating the ground. So therefore, they've been mandated to make a connection. Now, you got an overall cost of $11.2 million for the project. They've come up with about $7.5, $8 million of that 11.2. And who gets saddled with the rest of it is the 190, 200 households in that chin allotment. So when you average it all out, it's about $30,000 per household that they have been told they've got to come up with, find somewhere to to offset the overall cost. If you're a retiree on a fixed income, you're not gonna come up with 30,000. You're not gonna come up with 15,000. Hell, you might not come up with 5. Who has 5 just laying around? Not a lot of folks, not a lot of folks, especially if you're in that cohort, if you're in that group. So they reached out to me to say, well, Mr. Kennedy, can you do something with that low interest loan? Sure, but this isn't gonna work for folks who are, just living day to day, hand to mouth, and on fixed income. You're not gonna wanna take out another $25,000 of debt, even at a 1 to 3% below market. So what I said I can do is I can make this a bigger issue. I can rustle the feathers of the powers that be at the state level, at the county level, and at the federal level. And so I've reached out to all those political folk, both sides of the aisle, because, this is not a political issue. This is an issue that needs to be dealt with. And I know you guys deal with this stuff all the time at the township level, folks not being able to afford a connection to a new sewer line. This doesn't even include the cost, potentially, for drinking water, because they're still going to be tapped into their well water. But what if the well water is contaminated? And how are they going to pay for that additional cost? So anyway, it's a big issue. And again, my role, and I want you to see me in my role as treasurer, as being somebody who is, primarily dedicated to bringing in the tax dollars from our hardworking residents here in Portage County, then reinvesting that money into an investment portfolio that's going to gain money for the county. We can get a good return on that investment, and we're doing a very good job of that right now. We've got about 100 million plus in our investment portfolio. So the return on investment is really good, but we have to be good stewards of that money. And I'm the chief financial officer. We have fiscal officers here, I know. That's your responsibility, is to make sure that every day things match up with the auditor in our office, what we're taking in and then what we're putting out. So that's a big part of the job. But the gray area is this other stuff that I'm talking about, kind of making connections with other groups. And speaking along those lines, one thing I will say is I've become fast friends with our folks in the Farmers Bureau. And I know you guys have connections. Maybe some of you are members of the Farmers Bureau. They know I've been going out and talking to township trustee people to remind you of the value of membership in the Farmers Bureau. They're a strong voice at the state level to make sure that your rights in the farming community are being stood up for. It's a small amount of money to pay to be a member of this great organization. So if you haven't, if you're not a member, take a look at it, make sure that, and I will leave you guys with some information and some brochures about the Farmers Bureau here in Portage County. I think they're key. I think, farming in Ohio is the #1 economic driver. People overlook that. There's no bigger economic force than our farmers. I know we worry about losing small farms, especially to the big mega farms. We've got to somehow rein that back in and level the playing field. And so I'm all in on supporting you, supporting our local farmers, and providing them with the information and the tools, and potentially through the financing programs that we have available, CUAD, and our low interest loan programs for small family farms. Hopefully that can help offset some of the challenges that our small local farms are encountering. So I'm your voice and advocate for that. I don't work for them. I'm just saying this as a public servant. I respect the hell about what they're doing. Portage Health Department as well is another group that I'm working with to convey that, hey, we're here, we're providing good programming for the residents of our townships as well. And they do a lot of great work that a lot of folks at the local level are just not aware of. They do food pantries There's going to be one coming up in August, on August 1st. There's a food bank. They're doing great work. What I've discovered, and I've known this for some time as well, Portage County, we have such great organizations here. I would put Portage County up there against Geauga, Summit, and I know everybody always talks about Summit having all these resources and whatnot. I think we've got such great assets here in Portage County, and you all might be aware of them, but a lot of folks, the residents here, are not aware of all the great programs and resources, potential money that is available to them. And so as you're getting questions from people in the township, just know that I'm going to be a navigator. I won't have all the answers to all the questions, but I can at least help connect the dots like I'm doing in the chin allotment and what I'm doing with the Farmers Bureau. And I'm looking at all these different agencies as allies. We're all in this together, right? From the townships on up. People say, oh, I don't believe in democracy or institutions anymore. I say, all you got to do is go to a few township trustee meetings in Portage County, and you see democracy is alive and well, and that people are really, you want to find out what the issues are, go sit in on a trustee meeting anywhere in the different townships across Portage County. So I respect the heck out of what you guys do, and I just want to be a resource for you and the people in the township. Thank you.
So to get the information
What you
out,
got?
you probably would go through Holly, I would imagine. I mean, there's some definitely interesting things in there.
That's really good. And here's the health department pop-up pantry information and a little bit about what they do. They wanted me to pass that along. Oh, and here's a little failing septic systems and what people need to know about that. That's from the health department as well.
Do you know how much the Farm Bureau membership is, and do you have
It's
to
cheap.
own a farm in order?
It's very cheap.
Is it around 100?
Yeah, is it even that, 45?
$45, something like that?
Yeah.
You have to have a farm in order to be a member?
No, you do not.
I was raised on a 230-acre beef cattle farm, and that interests me a great deal.
Get the loan thing on the back too.
Now, is this all available online
It is, and
on this website?
nope, not on mine, but how about this? After this meeting today, and I should have been better prepared, I will send you guys a link to the website for the Farmers Bureau.
Okay.
And
If you could get it to Holly, she's our
Holly, I'll
business
do that.
manager.
Yep.
And then she can pass it out to all of us.
John, is that your loan thing on the back?
Yeah.
Yes, and I've got plenty of these. You guys can. This is the Portage Rolling Program. Holly, I will follow up with you information about the. I'm a big believer in maximizing resources, right? Not spending any additional resources on things you don't need to, which is why I feel like I want to be an ambassador for the farmers. I want to be an ambassador for our health department and for all the people that you guys come into action with. If we're all kind of talking from the same page, guess what? It's going to sink in, and people are going to use the resources. Our loan program, we've got $3 million in the till. We've got more than $2 million available to us right now to make these kinds of loans. And I want to be able to go back to the commissioners next quarter and say, guess what? Demand is way up. We've got a real demand for this. Make my case with data and numbers. I'm a IT background guy, and I like being able to make informed decisions, not just based on gut, but informed, data-driven kinds of decision making. And so I would love to be able to go back to Sabrina and Tony and Mike and say, we got farmers interested, we've got a small business in Brimfield that is ready to go, wants to do this. That's the kind of story I want to be able to share with them so they can say, okay, Mr. Kennedy, we're authorizing another mill into this because there's a growing demand for it. So that's the shtick. I think we're, together, combined. Let's not work at cross purposes, let's work together, That's why I'm here, that's why I'm doing it.
I really appreciate you coming.
Well, thank you.
On the loan program, do they apply through the bank?
They do.
Or what's that process?
That's a great question. So we work with 2 banks currently, Portage Community Bank and Hometown Bank. You guys know these. And they know about this program. I even went to Hometown Bank last week. They have some new people doing the loans. And so I talked to them about their processes and whatnot. I gave them the background and the scoop on all of this. I gave them the material. So now they're equipped to be able to say, oh, you'd be perfect for this kind of loan. And if you call them, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, you talked to Mr. Kennedy, or you heard about this, or whatever. So they're familiar with it. And I'm holding their feet to the fire because they're making loans, and I want them to continue making loans, but I want them to offer this and promote the hell out of this too, because it's a good deal for the end user, for the resident. 1 to 3% reduced, and low interest. That's significant. I think it's significant. And there's no income requirement for a homeowner, so we don't care about that. We just want you to get the capital you need to make the improvements that you want, and because we know that money is going back into Portage County. We all work hard in Portage County. Let's keep our money here and get the best return on investment that we possibly can. That's my job, and is to provide that infrastructure to enable that to happen. Anyway, you got questions? Oh, did I give you all my card?
Yep.
You do. You all have my card. My cell number's on there. People told me not to put my cell on my business, but I'm like, no, if you want to get a hold of me, you should be able to text and get a hold of me. I'm a public servant, so don't hold back. So I'll be disappointed if I don't get a text from you, Mike, in the next couple of days. No, I'm kidding. But,
Hey, I'm glad you're saying something about the Farm Bureau, because that is really a good thing to be in. The discounts they offer on insurance, on automobile rental, there's so many things,
all of that.
which will pay for your members if you use one of them.
Well, and those guys are so busy. I've talked to Diane over there. I know many of you know Diane and some of the other people, Nick Kennedy. We're not related, but they do such good work, and they tell me the same issue that I have, which is when I go out and I talk about the loan program, I say, most people don't know about it. They say, John, Diane said, John, most of the folks in Portage County don't know about this program and all the different benefits that we provide to farms. We want to keep our farmers happy. We want to make sure that we're hearing their concerns. People are worried about solar potentially coming in and taking up maybe some of their land and whatnot. So there's a big debate about that. So the more that we can get people engaged in the process and become activated, the better off we're all going to be. The farmers, everybody.
I get correspondence once a month on they want my property for solar. It's
Yeah.
a big solar farm.
Yep. Yeah, and I know some people have said they've made a decision, well, I'm going to sell. I want to make that decision harder for people. I don't want to get in the minds of the farmer and what their motivations are, but I want to make sure that we're retaining as much of that land for, families to continue the legacy of the family farm. Because it's, again, people don't talk about it enough. It's the biggest driver in the Ohio economy, is what we're doing in our farms. We can't overlook them. We got to take care of them, and we got to have lawmakers who stand up for them in Columbus. Yeah.
Thank you.
I know it sounds like I work for them. I don't, but I just.
Holly, you ought to do a summary of all this.
Yeah,
We'll put a video out on our Facebook
Do you
page.
have any of your stuff you want to?
We have a very vibrant page,
Sue,
but you probably shouldn't put his cell phone number in there.
I don't care. I mean,
Sue.
maybe I do, but Yeah,
like I said, vibrant.
but, you know what? That's engagement,
Oh, yeah.
and that's, that's what we want to see, the good. All engagement in my mind is good. Some stuff does cross the line, and we don't want to do that, but I want to see our residents really actively engaged in these different issues, for them to be fully informed about what are their options. And for me, the most dispiriting thing is when I find out, oh, people did not know this resource was available to them. That's the tragedy. When we've got great people doing wonderful things throughout Portage County, and that word has not gotten out there. I can't, I'm not magic, but I am a connector, and I am a bridge builder, and I'm a navigator, and I will do my damnedest to connect the dots. And again, I can't say I'm gonna solve the problem, but I'll get other people who are smarter and more informed than me at the table to take things up.
Everything you said is positive, so I can't see how people wouldn't
I
embrace
agree.
it. Wouldn't embrace it. So,
That's what, for me, that's why I'm doing the public service. This is my lane. I'm gonna stay in this lane, and do the best that I possibly can do.
thanks for coming.
Thanks, John.
Does anyone else have any
Appreciate
questions? Are we all good?
I appreciate the time.
You got a low interest rate for a fire station?
Yeah, I do get questions from people who are not for-profit entities. They're like, John, could this program be expanded to include nonprofits and whatnot? And
Yeah, what about the Kelso House?
that's a legislative fix at the Columbus level.
Or like the Kelso House, it's our historical society. It's all run by volunteers.
I would love to be able to say that ORC, in the Ohio Revised Code, that it had a carve out for those types of projects.
They don't as of yet.
I can advocate. I mean, this is my lane now. I can advocate, I can push, I can talk to other treasurers across all 88 counties and say, hey, I'm hearing a growing demand for these types of projects. Could there be a legislative carve out for this potentially? I'm hearing this and I can bring it up. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? Like,
Yeah.
you gotta try. If you don't ask, you don't get. What other metaphors can I throw out at you?
Well, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Hey, take care and thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me, and these guys heard my spiel yesterday. Well, not this spiel, but you know these two.
Never met them.
So the word will travel very quickly tonight, whether or not I was successful.
You did a great job. Thank you.
Oh, you did. You guys take care. Hopefully I didn't leave anything. I don't think I did.
Okay, John.
See you guys.
Take care. Okay, well, now I'm going to make a motion to approve the minutes for 7/10/24, which was a public hearing for a change in zoning.
The one was behind the Holiday Inn.
We haven't gone through all that other stuff.
Meeting minutes first.
Yeah, we've gone through it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, we're right there. We're right.
Number 3.
Yeah, we're good there, Sue. Okay, so I just need a second for that 7/10/24 public hearing.
I'll second that 7:10.
Okay, that's the 7:30 a.m. one, and then we're gonna do one for 7:45.
Public hearing.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed. So do the 7:45
Okay,
one
now
now.
I'm gonna do this, the 7/10/24, the public hearing for park property zoning.
Right.
I'll second that.
Okay. All in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
And then it's a regular meeting time, 7/10/24. I'm gonna make a motion that we approve the
Regular meeting?
Yep.
Radio meeting.
Yep.
the regular meeting.
I'll second that.
All in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay. Now the agenda, do we have any changes?
Okay. I'm where we're at now.
Do we have any changes, additions?
I don't believe so. Holly put all of them in at the last second there. So thanks for doing that, Holly. And they're in red too, so.
Check this out.
Is yours on there, David? I believe it is.
That's on the room, so. Nope, we're good.
Okay.
We good, everybody good?
Yep.
Okay. I make a motion that we approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second that.
All in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes,
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that I review the purchase orders and sign them.
so moved.
All in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes,
Nick?
Abstain.
Motion passed.
I'm gonna make a motion that we approve the warrants. I've reviewed and signed them.
so moved.
All in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes,
Nick?
Abstain.
Motion passed. Thank you, guys.
Okay, public comments, do we have any public comments? No. Safety concerns? Okay, into the meeting. Roy?
Yeah, just a couple of things for you this evening. I go to kindergarten, safety school coming up on August 7th and 9th, so you know, your T stuff. I'll have to take it on that, that's fine. Just a brief note to the board, the little church had their community event on Saturday, and our station officers had a chance to stop by up there. Wow, what a turnout they had. They had a really big turnout up there at that event, and it was just nice to stop by and get a chance to chat with people, interact with kids, but that's a really great event.
Mhm.
They put on up there.
Into everything.
Just to touch on that, we gave out almost 300 backpacks that day. 300 kids went home with backpacks and supplies for the school year.
Nice.
So, it was really good.
Did they run out of hot dogs?
No, because we rented that 300 point, so we got to right where we needed to be. I would say, thank you to all the community businesses that donated from food and supplies and money. It was always a great event, and thank you to the ED for coming out. They actually made a second stop up there too.
Yeah, I heard they have finished it.
Yeah, I think they wanted to come get some food also.
So new business, obviously, we sworn our new officer, officer consent. Another item that I just want to give you a brief update on Road Fest, and really that update is, we have, had a chance to communicate with NAPS Collision here in town, they're donating a dump tank. So we're gonna have a dump tank at Road Fest to, raise funds for Shop to Top. So throughout the day, there'll be some officers sitting up in that dump tank, giving you a chance to kind of get splashed. I'm welcome to extend an invitation to any of the trustees or John, if you'd like to jump into our dump tank momentarily.
I won't fit.
The invitation is there, we'll make room for you. if you would like. So I just wanted to let you know about that update we made. NAF was very generous in doing that, so it'll help out with shop. But that's all I have for you this evening.
Is the chief sitting up there?
I am, not sure when, but I'll be there.
Nick,
Put it on Facebook.
How much is the ball?
Yeah.
I'm not sure yet. Michelle's not working on the logistics.
Nick, are you sitting up there? Ask him for John.
Yeah. We'll deliberate on that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's see. Chief Malala?
Okay, couple updates for you. This includes Roy and myself, both PD and FD. We'll have an active shooter training on 10/11/24. I wrote down there the notifications will be sent out for this drill. Roy we'll have to communicate. What I'm saying is we're gonna have multiple departments coming in on a live scenario from out of town, and people are gonna start talking.
Now, this is at the
So,
school?
It is at the school, it'll be a day when kids are not at school, teachers will be brought in, but still, you're gonna get a lot of talk, so we'll try to push that out, that it's a drill, and I don't know if signs will be up on 43.
I think that these training session signs will be out, there'll be media attendees, there'll be people from outside the area, from other school districts that might want to come and watch the event, so it'll be a pretty big deal that morning when we'll be started.
So we'll probably have to notify the newspaper and everything on that, so just giving you an update, and I'll update you again when it gets closer, but, is road department gonna be involved? I know we haven't asked it, I don't know if we need one or.
Yeah, I might follow up with you, Dave, just sort of, maybe just a question, maybe just having a couple signs out, might not be anything there, common sense.
I want to ram the school with my plow. I can do it.
You could block the road before everybody gets there.
So anyways, that's just an update for you on that. FD will attend the Ravenna VFW donation meeting tomorrow night. They called and they wanted to donate $1,000 to the fire department from Ravenna FD, so we will be there for accepting a donation. So just so you know on that. And then I just needed one item for board approval because it exceeds the $5,000 mark, and that is, I think I put it in the Dropbox, but it is our bricks dispatching system. And it's a not to exceed $6,500. And that's just an annual subscription.
That runs 8 to 8, August to August.
It does, yeah. Yeah, whatever date's on there.
Yep, or July. July. Okay.
So I'd like to make a motion to approve the bricks alerting system for automated dispatch not to exceed $6,500.
Second.
And then just come out of your operating fund.
Yep, I'll send it over with a PO request as soon as it's approved.
All in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, that's all I have.
Okay. Administration.
Yes, so just wanted to follow up from the last trustee meeting regarding the donation process review. So I know there was some discussion about how we should be bringing donations to the board. I'm not sure that we finalized what that process would look like. So we'll have a spreadsheet that we keep for the year listing all of it. I think the question before you guys is that something that you want to review quarterly, biannually, once a year? I guess what type of frequency are you looking for us to just bring that forward to you guys?
I think quarterly might be good, so then I mean, that's just my opinion.
I'd say the only question I would have is have we reached out to the auditor's office just to get feedback on the best practice or what they would want to make sure that we do also.
I can do that.
Well, and what we can do, I mean, I'm going to bring them in that are over $1,000. We're just going to bring here. These are just the little ones that we come in and the $20 one here, $20 one there. We're just going to put them on the list and bring it to you guys. So you know.
But I just like to check with the auditor just to make sure.
That's fine.
So we don't end up with a finding for it. But
Okay, I'll follow up on that.
if they have no opinion, I'd say quarterly is more than like that.
I am in the process of obtaining quotes for our new board meeting dais. So this is an item that was not included in the project scope. So I've gone out for quotes and looking at two separate things. We have that reclaimed lumber. So I've asked the companies to quote me using the reclaimed lumber planks on the front of that dais or just a normal kind of veneer front cover. So getting quotes for that just to see if we want to use that wood as kind of a statement piece on that board dais, and then I'll be bringing that back to you guys for a final decision.
Have we looked at the scope documents, because we had that all drawn out in the original design. It was in the drawings, we had everything there exactly how we wanted it built.
It got taken out somehow, and I don't know how that
And that's
happened.
why I'm just trying to figure out, were we able to go back to those drawings to try to see when it got removed, it got removed before the bid process? Because I know we were really specific about that.
I went back and I looked at that very briefly. It looks like some of the rooms, they overlaid where furniture would sit. Not that it was included, they showed where the dais would be. I didn't see anything that said this is included.
So remember, we had extensive talks with Moody Nolan though, about how we want.
I do remember that, but I couldn't find anything, for example, they went out of the kitchen, they put a stove, and they show you how it's gonna look, but that's all I found.
We did have quite thorough dialogue on this. It was checked and double checked, and it was put back to me to move forward. So I'm not sure when it came out, but I did get drawings from Moody Nolan to be able to provide in getting the quotes. But both Moody Nolan and Rycon and PCI all thought it's not part of the scope.
The only reason I asked is I just know we had extensive
Sure.
conversations about that specific layout.
Yeah.
Because during those conversations, that's where we added the extra door to the side of that.
What's the air conditioning company? Get the line.
Yeah, I don't even remember, I mean, remember you guys talking about what it was gonna be, but I don't even remember seeing the actual drawings.
Yeah, it was in one of the blueprints, they had a drawing of it and the layout, and that's when we identified putting that side door so that if there was an emergency, we wouldn't have to walk around the dais and try to go out the main entrance, we could go out that side door.
This thing's just gone on way too long. I don't even remember what conversations we had after a while.
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys got any information, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, if they look, I just wanted to make sure that we got into, just because it was like a conversation.
Yeah, this happened, it's probably been a month or so ago now that they started looking into it and giving me a heads up, and it took me a while to actually get the drawings from the architect to be able to send out and make the quotes, but it was verified by everybody. So, with that, just looking at, that may be I think our final piece using that reclaimed lumber. But again, I'll bring the quotes to you guys and see if you would like to use that lumber for the front of that or
Move these tables up.
not.
That'll look great there.
New business, so, last week, we were notified by the library of an issue with the air conditioning unit. Dave thankfully helped in getting J&J plumbing out there. And we did need to get a replacement of one air conditioning unit for the library, so that'll be replaced tomorrow. And the estimated cost of that is $6,550. Again, it was kind of given to us as an emergency approval so that they can get it ordered, but just wanted to make sure.
How many air conditioning units they have there?
4.
Four?
Takes there in like quadrants though, so that whole quadrant was hot. So, well, this was an emergency one that we put out there, but I would still like you guys to vote
So
on it.
you still need a board vote.
Yeah, we just had to get it done beforehand. So, there was a then and now purchase done. So I just need a motion for that.
So I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of a replacement air conditioner for the Portage County Library building in Brimfield Township, not to exceed $6,550.
I will second that.
All in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
motion passed.
And just a side note, have you heard how the attendance is at the library?
For their events,
Well, yeah, they having a lot of people walk through the door.
I've not heard, I can find out.
That'd be nice to know.
I mean, don't mind me speaking.
Go ahead.
But, from when we do some odds and ends around it, like the cultural house, the soccer field, that kind of stuff, you do see quite a few cars.
That's good.
I mean, it seems pretty busy.
There seems to be people in there each time we go up to get books, and there seems to be a steady flow, so,
That's good.
yeah. And I think it's gonna be nice, they're getting that, automatic book drop moved over, so when you order books online, you can get them after hours too, which would be nice for the residents.
That's good.
So as Roy mentioned, we have been busy planning for safety school. So we have 50 children that are enrolled in safety school so that we could get everything finalized, t-shirts ordered, registration is officially closed for that. So the dates are August 7th through August 9th. I want to thank everybody involved. It's been a great joint effort. Rochelle from the police department, parks, administration, everybody's been jumping in and helping work on this. So with that, with safety school being August 7th through the 9th, we do have a trustee meeting on the 7th. And as I mentioned, especially since it's the first day, we're going to be all hands on deck at safety school. I know Mike is also out on the 7th. So kind of moving into the next item is, do we want to move that meeting date from the 7th so that we can have higher participation? Later on in the agenda, we do need to schedule a public hearing for zoning. So maybe if there's a day that we're gonna have the public hearing, we could have the meeting that day, if that's something you guys would like to do.
Okay, I'll make a motion in the positive for moving the meetings or any discussion.
Second for discussion.
What was it again, Mike, to move it?
Well, no, yeah, I'm making a motion in the positive to, yeah, move the meeting.
Okay. Nick, fine, all right.
I'll second discussion.
Alright.
I mean, I don't see why not just continue the whole meeting, because that just allows us to do purchase orders and any other township business that might be there.
But that would be a day meeting, right?
Yeah, it's a day.
Yeah.
And
It
then,
is.
And I can be there. We move it, I couldn't tell you what days.
I just don't know with them all setting up for safety school.
Yeah, we were hoping to have Joe there as well. If you guys want to have the meeting on the 7th, we would just have to go without Joe. But it would be at least myself, Cassie, and Mike that would be in attendance.
We still have, Roy, are you able to make that meeting?
I am.
Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, are you guys setting up for safety school or doing anything that day?
We're setting up most of it, so they do have
Just didn't know if you guys
some
had
of
things that
their,
were
employees participating in like demonstrations and classes. But other than that, for the most part, we're gonna set most of it up on the 6th. But it does start,
I mean, could you
8
guys,
o'clock, 8 o'clock.
you could do a quick meeting?
Yeah, I think we should still continue to hold the meeting, stay on schedule with it. We'll see the reasons and decide.
What do you think, Sue?
I'm okay with Wednesday at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
So we-
We'll have all the
What time
department
does
heads
safety
here
school start?
for their reports and
I don't know.
all those things.
When safety school start?
That starts on the,
What time though?
8 o'clock on the 7th.
Are you gonna be down there?
I would
You.
just have to have a chat.
I'm bringing all the stuff they need on this.
Just-
Oh, all right. So we have a motion to move the regularly scheduled meeting on 8/7 of 24 to another day. All those in favor, Mike?
I just had 5.
Okay,
What if, Nick and, what if
I'd
you
like to
guys,
say no to the
what if you
motion
would move to
and just make
7
another.
o'clock, do it earlier? Give them a little more breathing room to get up there.
Is that gonna help out or not?
It wouldn't help Cassie or I.
Joe still would have tear down, so he'd still be there later.
Okay.
are you two doing good with doing it?
Yeah, I'm good, it's already on my calendar.
So why don't we just vote and we'll just not move it and then it'll just stay? Okay, so all those in favor to move the meeting to a different day instead of 8/7, Mike,
I know.
Sue?
Yeah.
Nick?
Yeah.
Okay, motion failed. All right, so we'll just have it again on the 8 o'clock on the 7th.
So we are in the process of getting quotes for siding and new windows here at the community center. So goal is to use the remaining NOPEC grant funds to fund both. Both of those would be eligible purchases under those NOPEC grant funds. So hopefully at the next meeting, we'll be bringing those before you
So
guys.
those will all be energy efficient.
Yes.
How much should we have left in that?
It was about that amount, was it 68? 60,
Well, didn't NOPEC replace some of these
16.
windows already?
the doors,
With
these doors a couple of years ago, but not those.
Oh, not those, okay. Maybe they just replaced the worst ones.
Well, those are just like a sieve, just letting air in them. Yeah, they're single pane windows that don't do anything.
Okay.
Well, and those two behind us on the back.
They were pretty back in the day.
Yeah.
All right, we currently have $61,140.33, of which $13,111.33 must be used by November of this year, November 30th.
Which is our 23 carryover balance, right? Probably is, because
The
we can,
system says 2022 expiring balance.
well, we're gonna use it all before then anyway,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, but we do have the siding quotes already here as we were going through this, and figured it would be a good time to do both at the same time since they're taking on the siding. Or to something to that extent, but at a minimum, we'll be able to use the funds that'll be expired this year. Even if we just do the siding alone.
You're good, you didn't have any projects.
the day after that.
Well, that's what you said.
When we had heating cooling, we had some issues recently with, no, it's specific.
Not that I wanted to bring this up at all, because I'm never about telling you guys that, but I just got the JED notification from Talmadge, so it's a lot more than you expected. So it's like $241 a half for you guys. So it should have been like $100,000 less than that. So your budgets are understated right now because we didn't figure we were
Yes,
getting that.
Roy's trying to break into a smile, but he's trying to.
I know, I'm just saying, you got some cash, you're good.
And we can evaluate too, so the siding, we do need to move forward with. The windows, it is more for energy efficiency. They're old and they're not double.
And I'm not opposed, I just wanted to
Right.
ask, like, if we knew an AC was breaking down
Sure.
here and
It
there
might
were
be.
funds, you guys are building, so, and then Dave, the question would come to you too, is there any energy projects that you've been
No,
kind of sitting on?
Actually, we took care of all our energy projects in, I think, 2020.
Yeah, because we beat the,
We put new doors on,
You
new
did
fish
spray installation,
yeah, spray insulate, and then we put new furnaces on all the bays and that stuff. So we should be good. We just need to build a new building around all that stuff.
I know, let's do that for Portland Drive.
around
We're
it.
anticipating too, even if we did decide to do both the windows and the side, that there will still be funds remaining. But once we get the quotes, if it's determined that, hey, we might need to shift and do something else first, I mean, the window is not necessarily a priority, it's just trying to draw down.
Well, it'd be nice just to get this taken care of.
Yeah.
Well, and we still
need
have
some-
M&I money that Chris and I already kind of were throwing that around. We have M&I money that's
I
going to
mean,
be
I
out there
put the
as well.
jag going up, you're gonna have more.
We'll have more M&I money as well, so. All right.
Board approval, so we have been working on conducting interviews for a part-time seasonal maintenance worker. I am looking for approval to appoint Ryan Tompkins as a part-time seasonal maintenance worker, an hourly rate of $18.57 an hour. This offer is contingent on successful completion of a criminal background check and drug screen.
Okay, I am making that motion, John. You said it perfect.
Okay.
I will second that. You would recommend more.
So we'll get them started soon.
He's available to start as soon as possible, so I can call him tomorrow morning, get the background check and drug screening done, and he can start whenever we're ready for him, so if Dave's ready,
You're ready, right?
possible to get him next week. We are, ideally, we'd like to hire a second one as well, so we do have one more interview scheduled. And we could schedule more depending, but we will likely bring a second, candidate to you guys as well, so we can knock out parks and everything else.
Did anyone show up after I left?
No.
They work like road farms.
These are road workers.
They would, yeah, we do for roads, but yeah, we do know some of our parks, we need trail work and all the, everything else, landscaping and all that stuff.
Okay, all in favor, Mike,
Yes,
Sue? Sue,
okay.
Nick,
Yes.
motion passed.
Alright, another item is to, engage in with an independent contractor, so approval will needed to engage Justin Small as an independent contractor to assist the township and its director of IT in carrying out certain aspects of township operations, including not limited to network troubleshooting, network optimization, installation of equipment and other various IT services for the township at an hourly rate of $26 an hour through 2025. So this is just to hire this individual as a 1099 to assist with anything network related that is a higher up, I won't say that, a different skill set in IT that we may need assistance with. So network troubleshooting, optimization. A good example, which Joe's going to talk to you about later, was just that CrowdStrike issue that happened last week with that shut down pretty much systems worldwide. We were experiencing some issues with our own servers and had to bring him in as an emergency to help get things back up, and Joe will talk about that. But there's just a specific niche of IT that we know we're going to need some assistance with, and this 1099 contract will allow us to engage this individual when that work is needed.
And this is something, Joe, you're good with?
Yes, but I brought it to Holly as a recommendation.
Is he a local or?
Yes, he lives in the Beechcrest allotment, and he actually works down on Sunnybrook at the press. He worked for me as, I was the IT manager at the press prior, and he was my network admin. So it's more or less continuing a technology relationship that I already had. So I know he's trustworthy, I know his background, I know his skill set. We work very well together. And so, when I have issues that I'm struggling with, if we get the CrowdStrike thing, I asked Roy for some approval to bring him in, and that's why I did need a little bit of help with their particular server, and he was able to come in and give me a hand.
So the contract that you have before you, it was drafted up by Mark Detti, for a proper 1099 contract. So that would need to be approved. And we did review just some basic consultant rates in the industry, and the rate that we're proposing to pay is extremely generous. In the fact that he's willing to do work. There are some specific technology consulting firms that'll charge up to $150 an hour for this type of support. So of course, depending on the firm, you can find a wide range of hourly rates, but $26 an hour is a fantastic rate for that type of consulting.
Okay,
I need a motion.
I will make this motion.
I'll set it for discussion. This one concerns the sort of lawyer, maybe also Craig, with the data that we're dealing with, bringing it outside 1099, and there are concerns there, we're dealing with pretty sensitive data there. That interaction, that access to that, is there concern on your side of the
I
house?
don't know the concerns of everybody, but there would be certain needs, requirements, procedures, requirements for lead stuff that we would.
Correct.
Just like we did with you.
Yes,
You came on board, so it would be a similar process, there'd just be some
and
protocols.
to address that, my intention is to not use them for anything in the police department outside of a specific down situation. I'm not looking for him, because of that, I'm looking for him more for big picture issues, not specifically to support in the police department. I don't want him to have access to your data
Yeah.
for that reason.
But I still, even if he's over there, I know that's not your intention, but I still would need him to go through.
Okay,
Those pieces,
But I mean-
on the off chance he had to go over and engage with our server or some other piece. And it's really, it's not anything that's, it's not cumbersome.
no, I know the process.
Yeah.
But I mean, when I brought this to Holly, I brought it in as have access to the computer and its data. It's more of a high level, like, the server didn't boot,
Yeah.
or, that, I really would like that to never happen again. Never envisioned that's happened in the first place. I don't think anyone did. But like network optimization, that's more of a high level, looking at how it's structured. Did I overlook something, or we are having a few little glitches here and there? That's not looking at the data on the computer, but more of a high level of how is it structured, and, looking at error logs and see is there something that could be tweaked to improve things. So I don't intend for this position to have access to any of the township data. It's more of a high level. Right, yeah, no, my intention for this role is more of a high level consultant of, here is the overview of what we have, here's some log data that I've gathered, what am I overlooking that's causing some issues here and there. We're having.
He or she would not be in the facility operating within the data within a problem, correct? Is that what you're saying? Or would they have?
They would be operating from my area. They'd be in the admin area, with me directly using the systems with them, more or less looking over my shoulder and consulting. What happened on Friday was kind of a special circumstance where they, were actually in the police department, but they didn't have, they were getting the computer to turn on. Once it was on, I took over and made sure it was working. They didn't have access to anything. That was, a very unique situation.
Okay.
But that's why I specifically asked for permission before engaging in that.
The contract requires a background investigation to any of our hires. Just because of that.
Yeah, we could
Or
do,
everything was-
so I would do a criminal background check on that.
That's our
So, yeah.
Yeah, if we want to do the lead thing, obviously, that's fine, and there won't be any issues in that.
It's just a waste of time. Just pass it to Sue so she can say she had it too.
Yeah, just leave with data.
Just look at it and be ready for it when I talk about it. So I need a vote on that. Are we ready to vote?
Yeah.
All in favor? Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes,
Nick,
Yes.
motion passed.
we need to sign that.
No.
No,
It's got a
no.
spot in here for us to sign.
No, we actually need we need a notary on that, so we're gonna have to have Holly did you get
I
yours?
have not, I don't have it
So we'd have to, there was a notary signature on that.
yet. Yeah, I think we could get it, I believe we could get it after you guys sign it.
We have to sign it
Then
for,
we'll have to table it for next.
well,
Yeah.
if you guys could come in at the checks next time, we'll just have it signed. We'll make sure that Rochelle or someone's there.
Can we approve it and sign it later?
Oh, yeah, you can, we approved it, that's fine, but the contract's not valid until it's signed
Oh,
by.
are you on the 1099?
Yeah,
Okay.
it needed to be signed in front of a notary, so it's out there. Rochelle's our only notary right now. Holly's gonna be one real soon here. Who else is taking it? Okay. All right, so we'll just have to get Rochelle to come over one day when you guys are there. But it's in process, so we're good.
Okay.
Okay.
So the next items two do, I think, also require notaries, so I don't know if we want to review and approve and then we can sign them after
Yeah,
the
this,
fact.
it does need a notary.
Yeah,
What's the easement ones?
yes.
No, those just require me.
You sure?
Or no, that one does, never mind. The first one didn't. The first one was just
The
me.
resolution just requires you the actual,
Temporary access.
So do we have?
the actual
multiple-
easement agreements requiring
Yeah,
notary.
they're all about the easement work at the,
Right, for the VA.
So would you guys prefer to table this to the next meeting or go through it and if you approve it, we can sign off later?
well, if you guys are okay with approving it, we can just have it set so you can sign it in front of the notary.
Yeah, we can just leave it with Rochelle.
Right.
And then we can swing by. whenever.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
Roy, is that all right? That we leave this with Rochelle so they can come by and sign it? All right.
Sorry.
I did.
Yes.
So we have two?
There's three.
Yes, so this next one is a resolution first authorizing a utility easement and a temporary grading easement in connection with the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs Development Project within the township.
So that's exhibit A?
Yes, so there's actually three pieces before you. You have the resolution, authorizing the
There's this
utility easement and temporary,
Right there.
It's the first one?
grading easement, and then there's two actual easement agreements that
Okay.
need to be signed.
Okay, well, I'm gonna make a motion that we approve the temporary grading and easement, permanent utility easement for the project. Veterans Affair. Sound like Biden.
Okay. So I need everybody all those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick.
Yes.
And motion passed.
Okay, so then we got exhibit A. This temporary access and work easement agreement is made and entered into this video. It's just a temporary access and work easement agreement.
Yes, so this is between, again, us and the VA.
Using our property.
Yeah, so essentially, there's two easements here. One is for utilities running through the easement, and then this temporary access and work easement agreement. So essentially, the VA requires a temporary work easement over, across, and under a portion of our property on McGuire Park.
And they're gonna call before they dig?
Of course.
Dave, is there any problems with, you see? Being here.
No, because there's already utilities there, so what they're doing is probably pretty much getting a temporary where they can tap into that stuff.
Okay.
Because it's kind of on the borderline of McGuire Park and their property.
I hate to keep these guys holding up because they're going like crazy.
Yeah, moving this right along.
Well, this is what we wanted the whole time anyway,
Yes.
but to have access to the driveway.
Right.
There's a drawing in there if you want to see
Yeah,
page
look at
7, it
that.
actually has a drawing of, and the grading for the easement, so you can actually see, page 7 and 8. And further explanation.
Right here. There it is, right? Yeah, this is the one up the street though. Okay, so that's it right there.
Sounds good. Just need a vote.
Yep, we already did the first one, exhibit A and B, we just need to vote on, so.
Are we doing A and B together? You just want to do them one at a
So we're
time?
doing one at a time.
Yeah.
Easement access.
Yep, let's do
One
that.
may run longer than
So we've
the other.
already, I made the motion for A.
No, we made the motion for the first one, so now we need a motion for A. You did the first resolution
The
page.
actual resolution.
You did, you did, you did this one though.
And then I got this one, the second one.
So that's your, is that your second one?
So I just needed a second on that.
We're seconding on.
A.
Exhibit A.
Yeah,
I will second exhibit
okay.
Okay, questions are out of the way, so roll call,
All those in favor, Mike,
yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
A. Yes.
motion
Now I'm
passed.
gonna make a motion for exhibit B. This access to utility easement agreement is made and entered into this 23rd day of 2024 between Brimfield Township, Ohio, subdivision state of Ohio, board of trustees, and the Akron government LLC. Just too much repeating. Okay, I'm making B.
We gotta put it on A.
We voted on that, we're good.
Can we all vote?
Yep, did I get a second on B?
Okay.
And
I was second on the exhibit B.
Okay, any questions? All those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
motion passed.
So we need to,
We're
we
good.
need to come up and sign
We're gonna have it at Rochelle's office.
We'll have 3 documents that need signatures.
tomorrow. We'll have it tomorrow. or-
Well, there'll be 2, because the first one's just me.
No, we had the contract.
You know what?
1099 and
And
then
then
2
two
exhibit agreements.
Actually, all 3 of these have to be signed by you guys. I was having there. The one doesn't need a
So do
note.
you want it tomorrow or should we wait till?
Yeah, that's fine. I'll get with Rochelle first thing in the morning and take her all the documents, and then I'll just shoot you guys a message and let you know that it's ready for signature.
Oh, that'd be great.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
That is all I have for administration.
Who's doing zoning, you?
I will be doing.
You can look at it.
The permit fees year to date are there available for you to look at. There's no old business, new business. Board approval to approve the 2050 Brimfield Township Land Use Plan updates.
I would like to make that motion to approve the 2050 Brimfield Township land use plan.
I'll second that.
All in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
motion passed.
Next item is request the board to set up a public hearing for the text amendment change of zoning resolution section 310.02 to eliminate references to the general commercial GC district from the highway commercial HC district.
Okay, so how much time do they need to advertise for this? Do you suggest one we should,
I think it's typically,
2 weeks?
2 weeks, yeah, do you guys want to do it before the next meeting on the 7th? Yeah.
Will that be enough? Do you
That
want
it
that?
goes to tomorrow?
yeah, because it's 15 days from then.
Oh, yeah, today's Tuesday. Okay.
But we only need 15
I'll make
minutes.
a motion to have a public hearing on August 7th at 7:30
I'll second.
Okay. Do we have one at 7:45 as well? Or do we just
I
want to
think
go?
it's just one.
There is just one, so I think 15 minutes is plenty. If you would rather do it at 7:45, if you do it at 7:30, you might just have a little extra time to wait in between, so I think that's up to you.
We're only gonna have one, I'll amend my motion to 7:45.
All right,
I'll second the amended motion.
okay. All those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
motion passed.
And just kind of following up with, in regards to this land use plan, so we did, put some information out just to share that land use plan out on social media. There's been a lot of development starting, as you guys know, from Sheets to Discount Drug Mart to apartment homes and townhomes. So talking, with Shirley Marsh from the Portager today, and she has an around Brimfield column, so we're gonna just give some information, just because we constantly see some of the same questions, where's this going, what's going here, what are they doing? So Shirley's gonna publish some information just to clarify for people where the drug mart's going, the sheets, the VA and the Wire Park entrance, just to kind of get it out there and share what's happening, because some people don't hear it during the board meetings. So we'll see that in the next column coming up. That's all I have for today.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Dave.
Yeah, just a couple little update things. We're fixing a few issues on the paving projects, not from the pavers, but from other things. The chip and seal project is coming up to start in the middle of August. We're doing a little bit of prep work to get ready for that. Friday, we're gonna pour the foundations at the cemetery. We've been working on doing some road mowing, culvert replacements, and a little bit of maintenance at the library. Just also let the board know we did finalize everything for the Klein Road culvert project from OPWC. Kirsten will take it from here. She's got a lot of paperwork to take care of to finish it up, but we're in good shape there. The project did come under budget, what we were thinking.
And the last check, just as an FYI, the winners was in the stack, the remaining balance that we owed them, 13,000. So we're all paid.
Yes. And we'll probably we'll get some fundings back from QCI, who was out there inspecting on the job, so it's turned out really well out there. And other than that, that's all I got.
Okay. And Park and Rec, which is an FYI, I was just reading it.
Yeah,
Park and Rec's in the machinery, you guys know.
no, okay.
You guys can all just peruse this thing. Summer concert was pretty good, 45 attendees.
Yeah, Mr. Jack, that was a well-attended event.
That's good. Okay, Joe, information technology.
Well, as I kind of referenced, and I'm sure most of you know, on Friday, CrowdStrike had released an update that crippled a lot of computers in a lot of critical areas. In our township, we had 11 affected computers. So we had 2 servers and 9 end user computers that were affected by the bad update. Nothing was lost, it's just getting the computer back working again. It's more or less just getting the computer into a mode that you can access the data, removing the bad file, and then turning the computer back on. It's getting to the file to remove it that is challenging, especially from servers because of their configuration. And there's not an easy way of getting to the hard drive outside of the computer booting normally for the reasons of you don't want people getting into it through a back door. So it becomes a little more challenging with servers than it is an end user computer, because servers are a little more protected. But there was really no major, I would say there's no major impact. It was just a delay in operation. In the case of both of the servers, they were our secondary servers. So if it wasn't for me checking on them, we didn't even know we had a problem. So no, it did not have, I would say, any significant impact on the delay, of people being able to do their, whatever they're using the computer for. No, the road garage was not affected. Yeah. So there is that, and obviously I'm going to continuing to follow with what's going on with CrowdStrike. While this is the horrific mistake they made, they are still a really good company. It's because of how their product works that it has such a crippling effect. So it's a double-edged sword. They're good at what they do because of how they're integrated with Microsoft, but because of the integration and their product goes bad, it goes bad really, really badly. So I'll continue to monitor that and see what we want to do. The next thing I have is a continuation of from last meeting, which is asking for board approval to move forward with the EV charging stations at the town hall. I now have the information that was asked of me. Namely, the biggest thing I believe that you guys were asking was what is the change order from Rycon? The change order for Rycon, which is the running of the electrical, is $1,050. So that is what the cost of the change order to run the additional power needed for the EV charging station.
Now, when they run this, I mean, say you get the need to put a second station in with that pipe.
This is for two chargers.
Are we putting in two to start with?
Yes.
Do we need
So
to?
the way that's being placed is being placed in the center between two parking spots. So you have cars charging on either side. So it makes sense to.
cords. It's got two
Two
cords.
cords, yes. So you have, it's gonna be mounted in between two spots, so we could have the ability to charge two cars. Then if we wanted to have a second station, so it may only make sense to run enough power because you'd always put them in the middle between two stations, between two
Now-
parking spots.
And now this won't be for somebody to come up.
No,
Sunday
this
and
is gonna be
park.
restricted for authorized township employees only. So it will be controlled by us. You actually have like an RFID tag like you do for doors. They'll unlock the station, they'll plug in their car.
Or township vehicles only.
Township vehicles. Yeah, sorry, it's for their township vehicle. Yeah, not for personal vehicles, but for township vehicles.
I know these are so new. How long do they last?
This charging stations? There really no,
Date on it?
there's really nothing to it. There's no, they're a glorified power extension cord. It's the same equivalent of plugging in your dryer. The charging stations when you're paying have logic. Its logic is more safety. It's going to talk to the vehicle, make sure it's not overheating, making sure it's not, that they agree upon how much to charge. Your car has all of the wearable parts. In this case, the only thing this thing is doing is talking to our network and saying, are you an allowed user based on an ID code? So it's the same thing as like a door access. There's really no intelligence there. It's going to close a relay. It's going to go. So it should, outside of wear and tear of being outside, it should last for quite a long time.
Do we see us adding more electrical vehicles to the fleet? I see GM starting to shift their focus away from that. We just an article today in the paper about that. We're seeing the shift away. Is this an investment we really need to be making in these electric charging stations? But really, we're finding battery powered vehicles becoming more of an issue than positive.
So Joe did put an overview together, it's either in the file or those of you do have it in your packet there. And this is just, it does come down to a matter of kind of where we're going from here. So we have purchased a vehicle that has an electric vehicle, that's the vehicle that Joe drives. So we've already invested in a vehicle that has this capacity and it's not being utilized. If you look at the ROI calculations that Joe put together, the savings of putting in this charging station, although it's small, so it would save us approximately $443.76 per year. Long term, looking down 10 years, you're saving about just over $4,000 in putting in the charging station versus using the gas. So, looking at those numbers, if we own this vehicle for another 10 years,
It would pay for itself.
you've essentially paid off the cost of, what you're investing in it. It's just a matter of, are you gonna have more vehicles? Maybe not, but you would have saved that money in gas by investing in the charger. So it's just a matter of, I think, where the priority is and.
Right.
In the electrical line, did that include the change order process? I know you said we had to do a change order in the.
Correct. The $1,000.
Foundation.
Mhm.
When they did the foundation, didn't you say?
Yeah, the whole change order is $1,000.
Okay, so I'm gonna just make sure we're differentiating between from the outside of the building to there, or all the wiring that we have already approved to do inside the building.
That is for all of it. The $1,000 is for all of the electric. Currently, the only thing that was done is they have a stub in the concrete foundation to allow for it, but no conduit or wire has been run interior or exterior. So there's a pipe underground currently, but it's just through the concrete. It's of no consequential importance. The $1,000 is for everything else. And they actually need an answer tomorrow because they are waiting, they have not moved forward with drywall because of this answer. So we're actually holding them up because they couldn't start drywalling until they could run this power
At least in that area.
in that area, yes.
So I'm gonna make a motion to approve the Ubiquity EV charging station at $1,900 and to include the Rycon charge order to cost to run the electrical line, $1,050. Total cost $2,950, not to exceed $2,950. Need a second?
I'll second.
Well, I would just like to say that it's good that they have the hookup made. And I'm looking at the future, but I've also been hearing on TV that the battery replacement actually is like $10,000 or more for a battery in that little car. And we just have the one vehicle that is electric. And then they had all those storms and the batteries exploded on people when they were going down the road. And all kind of horrible things with those little electric cars. And I don't know, I can't see us having our vehicles all electric unless the federal government would come in there and ban this and that and everything else for us. I think we have that little hookup thing that if, in my opinion, that in the future we could, but then I don't want to tear up all that concrete. I don't want to have to tear up all that old concrete and destroy all that stuff. And
Could you use that line if they have to run hydrogen over there for the new generation?
The hydrogen cars.
We can't put the hydrogen in the building.
What, to get on the Hindenburg?
You can just hook up a hose.
And I think it's a larger discussion as we move forward in looking at purchasing other vehicles.
Yeah.
Is that something that we want to continue to do? Now,
Well, Toyota's making a big change in batteries and stuff, because I think the auto dealers are seeing the problems with electrical
right,
EVs.
Yeah, that was the big talk in the paper this morning. Porsche, GM, and Mercedes are all kind of pulling out of the market now. They said it's just.
But then I was reading about, I think it was BMW and Audi are coming with some new approved technology.
and that's where, so even with that, if, I would imagine Joe's vehicle's gonna last 10, 15 years based on the amount that it's driven. So even with that, if 10, 15 years down the road, we're not gonna consider electric vehicles, that you've at least got your money back in savings by at least having this one and charging the vehicle. So to me, is it worth it, that you're not putting gas in the vehicle and you're offsetting it with the electric? Again, it's your decision on whether you're saving that money now.
I think it's a good marketing tool. We're trying to cooperate and protect the environment and all those good things. I'm not a tree cutter, but I still think, we've taken that into consideration as a community.
Well, another thought, since we only have one
She's a tree
vehicle,
hugger.
we have an allowance for gas allowances, right?
Why?
I mean, you can charge it at your house, right?
The car?
Yeah.
I could charge it at my house.
I mean, if we would, is there any, I'm just throwing this out there.
Why?
I don't know how you capture, you know what I mean, like the utility usage. I don't know if do it that way.
Huh?
Low count.
I don't know how you do it. I mean, if there's no desire for this board or the next board to get more trucks, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just personally, I don't want Joe having to spend his dollars on electricity.
Today he just runs it on.
Right.
Just like on gas.
Yeah, he just runs it on.
Roy had something to say.
You said it's high, I just clarified, it's high.
Yeah, and I think, I appreciate the return on investment calculation, but we're also not taking into account the repair cost of that type of battery system, right? So you say, well, we make $4,000, we actually might lose $7,000 in battery replacement. Joe, with your comment that we're holding up the project waiting for this data, this is the data that the board needs to make a decision.
No, I understand that. And that's why I was stressing to Rycon that I needed the answer. Like, I literally got it, 2 hours ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been asking Rycon for a while. It's the usual thing. The biggest problem is that all of the changes that we asked for on the admin are in one change order. They call it change order 25. So what Rycon has is this giant change order, and I'm asking for one line item. And they didn't want to break that out because they don't want to show what's behind the curtain.
Right.
And even when they did break it out, they broke it out in such hieroglyphics that I had to get Moody Nolan or Bob from Moody Nolan to translate it for me because it wasn't just straight. As we all can know, they don't want to show us what's going on.
So I think at this point, I mean, it really is a conversation of, so we've paid for this electric vehicle, we're using it fully gas, which is fine, it can continue to run on full gas. But should we keep an electric vehicle that we're just running on gas because we paid extra for this vehicle to have that electric capacity and we're not using it? So, you know, if we're not going to do this, which is absolutely acceptable, I think we should talk about, you know, should we keep that vehicle? Should we be changing it for something that's not electric because we pay more for it? And so I do agree, it's a larger conversation if we're not going to move forward with this.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna make a decision by tomorrow, so.
Does the hybrid charge itself while you drive or not?
It does. Yes,
With
I
the
mean,
brakes.
my personal vehicle is a Prius, but it's not plug-in and pull. So it only can regen. So yes, the car does regen on its own, but its intention is to be charged.
So we are getting a little better gas mileage then?
That factors into the gas mileage. The 30 miles per gallon is factoring the regen capabilities already.
That's just the coasting, right?
Yes, that's coasting and braking, right?
So we're saving money.
Correct. I mean, an example would be driving it to and from the high school. With the hills on 43, I gain about 5 miles. So if I was to drive to the high school and I drive back, 5 of those miles are actually driven purely electric because it gained that by rolling downhill or stopping. So yeah, I mean, it does get a little bit of power. It's just not its intention. It is intended to be plugged in and charged and running on electric until gas is needed. So it's just the design of the vehicle isn't really how we're utilizing it. And just because I'm me, I know that because I have plugged in and charged it at home. For my own personal, I want to know the differences in the car's performance, you know, how does it work? So I know how the car performs differently electric versus not electric.
Are you able to plug it in when you're at the
I
office?
am, other than my wife doesn't know, and she's told me specifically not to. So luckily she doesn't watch this.
No, I mean.
That's why I didn't say anything last meeting.
But when you're at work, is there any?
Where I'm at now, there's no ability to plug it in. There's no exterior plugs
Plug
in
it
it
into
to
the
bring it
downhill,
home.
you can see.
Plus, I don't want to mess with our electric. I don't know what the design of the town hall, if
I charge
we
triple.
could plug it into a standard 110 outlet. The difference is that it would take 30 minutes to charge it with an EV charging station, and it takes 9 hours to charge it with a 110 outlet. And so it's not really, well, it's not impractical. It's just not as efficient to charge it with a 110 outlet.
Okay,
So you ready to vote?
I don't know. I don't know if I have enough information.
How would you drywall up?
Huh?
I wanted to start on the drywall.
Okay, so.
We have a move, you made it and Nick seconded, a move to approve the ubiquity, how do you say that?
Ubiquity?
Ubiquity EV charging station. $1,900, Rycon's cost $1,050, total $2,950. All those in favor, Mike,
No.
Sue,
Abstain.
Nick,
No.
motion failed.
Okay, Plan D. Can we take the solar panels that I got from the grant? and
Hook
those-
him to the top of his car. Big old solar panel driving down the street.
I'm just not convinced on solar power or electric power cars.
I just have safety concerns too with charging and battery fires. There's a plethora of things.
Could I address that though?
What's that?
The safety of the vehicle or the safety of the charging?
Safety of the charging. The charging is what we're seeing.
The charger will have a safety interlock, similar to when you go to a gas station. It's a two-way relay. So if the charger has a problem, it kills the breaker inside the fire station. In addition, there's going to be a red button on the side of the building that you will hit that would kill. So if the car was to catch fire, all I would have to do is hit the exterior red button that's going to be on the side of the fire. It's part of the engineering of the building that they put in. So there'll be the ability to
So
kill it
people, yes,
remotely.
you're gonna know it's gonna-
In addition,
it's
it's,
gonna not go anywhere.
you have chargers everywhere and the amount of fire is very, very minimal and less, doesn't really happen that often.
Well, just to play the odds here, it's either gonna fail or it's gonna be tabled because Sue abstained. So,
No, it fails because it has to be positive. Right? Like,
Yeah.
Right.
If there's two votes.
You're right,
yes
it would
and no,
be.
it's not a
It would
magnet
be.
failure. So like, as soon as Mike voted no, Sue abstains.
That
Even
was
if
a
I
failure.
vote yes, it's not a magnet failure.
You're
You
right.
have to win positive.
You're right.
Two-thirds.
Yeah.
You need 50.0001% or higher.
Okay. Move on, cemetery? No action? Nick, do you have the budget sitting in front of you down there?
Yeah, I made its way down here.
It's just the temporary budget for 2025. It has no meaning whatsoever. It's just one of those waste of paper things. The reason I say that is because our budget is based off of estimated tax dollars that we're going to get, carryover balances, which we do not know at this point, and then other revenue sources, which I'm only halfway through the year, so there's really no, well, the biggest thing is I have no carryover balances, so I can't predict anything off of that. So it's a UAN generated report that,
I used to hear
Doesn't
that
mean
same
anything.
explanation from, Chick, I used to hear that same explanation from you for years.
Is the 22, 23, and 24 data the projected data, or is it the actual data?
You know that.
that's in there, that's the actual data, but 25 doesn't have any of the carryover.
25, yeah, 25 is good. But everything else is actually
Yeah,
current.
it's coming from the UAN system.
So you're more like Chick than you think you are.
Can I have this?
Yeah.
Can you get a copy of it?
You can have it.
Okay.
Well, actually, let me get your copy because no, you can have it. We already sent one over. Yep. I told her I was going to have the resolution to her,
I'm gonna
but
make a motion that we approve the 2025 estimated tax budgets.
I'll second that.
all in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Why don't you
motion
change it?
passed.
Everyone knows it's not working.
John, do we have an update on the audit?
No,
What's the status?
I meant to call her, but the light of my events and I just haven't really
Yeah,
had a
I need
chance.
a lot going on.
I'll get in touch with her this week just to figure out where we are. I haven't heard anything in a
Yeah,
month.
it seems like, 'cause they reached out 2 months ago, 3 months ago, and then just radio silence, so.
Yeah, there hasn't been anything to I know that it had to go to their higher ups to get a final approval and I haven't heard anything back from any of it. So,
'Cause we usually get that management report.
oh, there's going to be a management report and an exit meeting. So
Okay.
that'll be before the audit's ever released. It's going to come through you guys. So,
Okay. And that's it, right? So we have an executive session. On this date, 7/27/23. Mike Stensky moved to convene an executive session pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, section 12122D, for the purpose of considering the following matter: compensation of a public employee or official.
we just need a second.
Second for that.
Okay,
Okay, all in favor, Mike,
yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Okay, we're at executive session at 7:33.
I gotta hit the low boys, huh? Executive session.
All right? All right,
Okay.
good to go?
Yep, I'm good.
All right, coming out of executive session, I'd like to make a motion to approve a shift differential of $1.50 per hour for designated night shift non-union administrative personnel at the police department.
I'll second that.
All those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes,
Nick,
Yes.
motion passed.
Okay, if there's no more information coming before the board, I'm gonna make a motion that we end this meeting.
yeah.
Second.
All those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Sue, Nick,
Yes.
we are adjourned at 7:53.